Okay, this is the walkthrough on the Project 3 for cit250. I'm going to get a link to the Hackett2 server. Hopefully you didn't delete it. Hopefully you have your Kali box still. I have both running here on a different desktop. Here's my Kali box and here is my Hackett2. They are both running on my cyber range, if you will, of 10.20.40. Now things have changed a little bit. This is leftover notes from before. It did say .3 before I got started. .3 is no longer here. It's what happened was the DHCP server gave out a different address. So I am now on .1. My target box is .1. I'm .2 still. There is no .3 as you can see here. Okay, so host and reachable. So .1 is still alive, and if I do an nmap of 10.20.40.1, we would get the results that we see here. Okay, so we're going to do, if we go back to the project, we're going to do essentially an online attack and offline attack. Online attack, we're going to use Hydra. At the end of this, I want to see the Hydra command you're going to run. You're going to run your word list you're going to generate based off your hints here. The Ripper command you ran, and the server's administrator's username and password. All right. So I don't want to give away too many answers because I want it to be a bit of a challenge, but I also want to show you how to do this. So it's going to be an interesting balancing act. All right, it's up, and here's the ports that are open. This is a much more detailed report because I did a -A when I did this report. This is the service we're going to attack, actually, which is VSFTPD 2.34. That has a known exploit. We'll deal with that when we get to it. First of all, let's do an online attack. Let's be lazy, which essentially is what we're doing. There is a program called Hydra, which is a, I think -H will help me here, which is a really simple tool to go through and to do an attack, to keep guessing at passwords on a service. Now, if we go back to my notepad here, you notice that my that SSH is open. It's giving out a key, so anyone can connect up to it. So we'll attack that. We're going to go ahead and attack that. Okay. And so first of all, what we have to do is find word lists. Now, I didn't want you just watching me type things, so I've actually already made a word list. I'm going to open it up right here, pro3 word list. And this is me just going through. If you remember the clues, this is me just typing out a bunch of different things you could possibly do in the woods. Like taking a crapping in the woods. Again, the clue was that the administrator liked to do different activities in the woods. These are all possible things you could possibly do in the woods. And this is what I did. The other clue was that the administrator likes to make the first letter a capital and the last character a punctuation mark. The password might start with a capitalization, it might not. So this is what I did. I manually went through and made a list. It's not the most impressive list, and the activity probably isn't on here, right? You can keep going, hiking, camping, I don't know, climbing, I think I did. Swimming, that's one. There you go. So, swimming. And again, I'm just going to grab the this, and I can copy using pasting. I really didn't want to go through all that, and yeah, I did. But this is what I did to make the list, okay? Again, it's not always pretty. Hacking sometimes is boring. This is the stuff they don't show you on the movies, right? There I go. Actually, the smart way to do that would do all three, but now I'm committed to this methodology. We'll do a dot or period, and then why don't I just do this? All right, exclamation point. So anyway, I've created this list. I'm going to save it. There I go. I just saved it. I hit Alt S. Let's go back to my notepad. That is located under my documents under root. So if I do a cat of documents, not the / because we're not going from root. Documents wordless, I think I had it under. Oh no, Pro2. So I put everything under Pro2. Wordless and Pro2 pass. This is for the password. All right, there you go. So that was the list I made. All right, now we're gonna have to make guesses at the username. Now for that you can use crunch, and I'm just gonna make things up. I'm not gonna give you the right answer here, okay? But I'm gonna show you how to use crunch to do this. All right, so I would use crunch. I would say characters 1 through 20. Let's just say, I don't know, right? Let's just say I said P, B, and J. We know it's got either super, and in some certain order, it might say sand, witch, or whatever else. Oh, I got to do a -P on that. So sorry, -P. That's because I'm using a phrase. And then this output should give me every characterization of that. So we got 100 possibilities. There we go. So then I can redirect that. I'm going to say, you know what? Go to going back to my documents. I'm going to do a tilde documents Pro2 word lists. And we're going to do, what do you call it there? The first one was Pro2 pass, so I'm going to make this Pro2 user. And there you go, I'm going to dump that output to there. Now let's just say I also said, well, it might be sandwich, or it might just be sand, right? So why don't we append that, right? What we'll do is we'll append it. There we go, put 2 arrows. And I'm going to add 24 more lines. And it might just be sandwich, the whole sandwich with a capital CH. Hopefully I'm spelling sandwich right. Maybe I'm not. Sandwich. That looks more right. That's sad. All right, anyway, point is I'm going to just keep dumping. What I could do is keep adding variations and appending to this list. This is going to add 24 more lines, right? I might not be sandwich at all. It might be, oh, there you go, grinder, right? So we got grinder with, you got PB and J, or BJ, whatever, grinder, and then with a capital G. The point is, when this is all said and done, if I do a cat on, and I can cheat and be smart about this and hit up arrow and do a cat, I can get all those lists, all these possible guesses. All right. So you're going to have to make your own one up on that list. Okay. And when you're done, you're going to have a guess of usernames and passwords, and I can show you what it looks like in my GUI, my ugly GUI. No, it's fine. So we Pro2 word list. Pro2 pass, Pro2 user. All right. So now that we have that, we can actually use Hydra. Hail Hydra. Gotta make the joke. Hail Hydra. If I just do a lowercase l, like in my notes right here, that's for a single user. So I can sit there and say, try root, and that's what we'll just do right with there. -P admin. Give it the IP address 10.20.40.1. -T 4 sessions. We're going to try that, but SSH. All right. If I do that, it's going to attack the SSH server and try to log in with root admin. Didn't work very well. Okay. It failed miserably, actually. So what I can do is do a bunch of guesses, and I can make the L for the user. I'm going to point it to my user list, which is, again, documents. Word list, Pro2. I keep wanting to forget Pro2. Word list, and then I'm going to do Pro2. This is the user, so I'm going to do user. And then over here, I turn this to a capital P, and I'm going to give it my password guess. So I'm going to do Okay, Google, advance to the next track. All right, so sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to do the, let's, back to Chopin. Thank you very much, Google. All right, so documents, pro2, again, wordless, tabbing out, and then I'm going to do pro2 user pass was the other one. So now if I do that, oh, actually I have one more thing I want to do. I want to do a -v on this because I want it to be verbose. I want to see everything it's doing. All right, it's starting over from a previous session. That's fine. It should be more verbose. By the way, we're not supposed to use this in military or secret service organizations. It's only for academic and fun stuff. So here you go. It gives me information. Testing if password authentication is supported by SSH, PJP sandwich, spelled sandwich, at 10.20.40. In other words, it's trying to log in with this username, with this user, right? Successful password authentication supported by SSH. It's supported. But it's actually going to go through and test all these things. As you can see, this is going to take a while. This is the point of this whole exercise, is to say online attacks are going to take a very, very, very long time. Eventually, it'll give me a report giving me a vague outline of how long this is going to take. And it will take, I think it will take about an hour. It's not too bad because it depends on how long your list is. Usually it's not too bad. They can usually do, there you go. It's doing 52 tries a minute. So they did 52 tries the first time. It's going to take about 3 hours to do this. All right. So there you go. It depends on how many tries you have, and that's just a guess. If I hit it on the next guess, and I get it. But that's going to take a while, and also it's going to set off a lot of people. So online attacks not very good. If someone was actually looking for this traffic, it would just see a bunch of guesses. The server should block me at some point, but the server's not really well made security-wise. This would eventually work. Well, no, it wouldn't because I didn't put the right username password combination in there. But assuming it would, you could. All right, so let's cancel out of that. Let's move on and do this a much more efficient way. So what we're going to do is an offline attack. In order to do an offline attack, I'm going to have to run our good friend Metasploit. Now, I noticed somewhere along the way that this thing is running VSFTP 2.4. If I do a quick look for any exploits for that, are there such things as exploits for that? Well, there you go, backdoor exploit right off the bat. There is indeed a backdoor command execution exploit for that, but made by our friends at Rapid7 are the ones that release or distribute Metasploit. So this is the one I want to use. Use exploit Unix FTP VST backdoor. Let's do it. That was easy. Again, a very insecure server is what we have here. All right, so we get Metasploit up and running. We're going to use that exploit. By the way, if you're curious what that exploit actually looks like code-wise, cd user share. Let's see. Let me do a quick ls. Is it Metasploit? CD Metasploit. Yep, Metasploit framework. That's what I want. ls. I can go into modules. CD into modules. Oh, modules. CD into exploits. This is an exploit. ls. CD into Unix. ls, because I'm getting this information by what I'm typing out here, right? It's an exploit. It's under Unix. FTP, which is there. CD into FTP. ls, and we got 3. Here's the source code for it, right? So if we're just curious, we can actually look at the source code. I'll just cat it. VS. There you go. And there's the source code, right? So anyway, just FYI, all this is open source. It's a lot of, none of it's too crazy top secret, right? You can always reverse engineer this stuff and try to write your own exploits if you really want to get hardcore. All right, anyway, so here, this is the exploit we're going to use. We use it. There we go. I can do a show options to see what I want to do with this one. Now I got to set the remote host. The remote port's 21. That is correct, right? Up here is in fact port 21. It's running the correct version. So I'm going to do set rhost 10.20.40.1, the IP address of my target. I set it, and I should be good to go. So I'm just going to do exploit. That looks good. That looks lovely. Spawning, handling, session open. Great, cool. Well, where's my prompt? Where's my cool stuff? This is a rudimentary one, right? It's not going to give me much. What if I just tried typing ls? Cool. Looks like I'm somewhere. Looks like I'm in a root. Really? Am I in a root? Really? Let's do who am I? Yep, I'm root. There I go. Let me clear. So what we are, we're at a Linux Unix prompt. We're in a bash session, but what's going on is we're going through an interpreter, through an exploit that's not doing that. It's not giving us prompts. It's not going to be easy to use. We can't tab. We can't really see all that much around to what we're doing. But we can go around the file system. And again, who am I? I'm root. I'm pretty powerful, right? So I'm so root, again, with Linux, etc. We'll just go in there. And we'll do an ls, right? There's a lot of stuff in here. Unreal Engine, awesome. All right, so anyway, and in etc are two files which contain the passwords for Linux systems, which is password right here, okay, and shadow. Shadows, from my understanding, when Linux first came out, the password was kept under password. Now it's just used for, and we can cat that, so let's cat it, password. It has all my users in here, right? Again, you're going to have to figure out who's the admin here, so that's on you. But this is all the users right here, okay, including root. But root is not you can't log in with root. It doesn't have a password. If it does, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Maybe it does have a password. So they don't store password and password anymore. It's now, whoops, I tried to up arrow like an idiot. I don't have that function. But if I cat into, I'm already in, so I just do shadow. Here's a shadow file which actually does have the password. Like, so user has a password, right? Root also has a password, so we could try guessing what root's password is. That'd be kind of fun. I don't know what it is off the top. I haven't done that yet. But anyway, I can get John on it. We'll see that in a bit. So we need these files, because what we're going to do is we're going to get these files on our Kali box, and then once we have them on our Kali box, we can start a Kraken. So how am I going to do that? I could just copy and paste. You know, I can actually go through and copy and paste this and make shadow files. Where's the fun in that? And I might get something wrong along the way. Let's be much cooler. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these files. So I'm going to copy, again, we're in etc, shadow, over to, well, the web server. Let's just get it out of the web server, right? Instead of me figuring out the FTP password and all that good stuff, let's just put it right on the web server. So the web server, which we've already interacted with in a previous project, is this fantastic website. It's just an excuse for me to bring up this awesome website. 10.20.40.1. Look at that. Well, let's add some file services to this, shall we? So what we're going to do is we're going to copy that over to var www and just copy it right over. So we'll call it not shadow. Right? Oh, I don't know what it is. Not shadow though. So we're going to copy that file over. I'm guessing that's successful. Again, we're in a rudimentary interface, so I don't know. I'll find out when I go to download this stuff. Copy etc password. I'm going to need both these, even though Shadow has the password. John likes to combine the two. We'll talk about that when we get it. So I need both these files, var, www, and password. Hopefully I got both those right. I'll find out in a second. I also have to though change permissions on her. Remember when I did that, so let's do an ls of that. I'll do ls of var. Okay, so we're gonna do a ls var. My kid just interrupted me, so that's why there was a little skippiness there. Ls var www. There we go. Let's see if I can make that prettier. Let's do ls-l slash var www. All right, so we see our not shadowed file somewhere in there by any chance, or do we? Again, it's tough to look at this stuff. There's not shadow. Okay, so here's not shadow. As you can see, it's a copy over by root. So we're gonna have to change those file permissions. Is where I'm getting at this. Okay, so if we need to change those file permissions, we can use, as we all know from Linux class or Unix class, change mod. We're gonna change it of the var www, and we're gonna change the not shadow.
So we have to show you our creation.
All right, I'm pausing the video and then I'll start it back. Okay, so actually I messed up. I got to put the mod first, and this is not very forgiving. So var www not shadow. Okay, now we do that. Change mod, and then we're gonna do. I don't even remember if I don't think I copied over. Did I copy over password? This is being interrupted while I'm making these videos is not a good thing. ls var www. Yeah, password's there, so I'm gonna have to change that mod. So I'm gonna do a change mod 777 var www. Although did I just do password? I didn't change the name to not password. Oh well. Not as slick. There we go. Change mod to password over there. Now I'm a little nervous I didn't copy it over because I didn't change the name, but I think it's good. All right, let's do it though. Let's grab those files. The way we grab the files, I'm going to grab them real quick. Is I'm going to use wget, which is a app or a program that can do HTTP or FTP downloads. So we're going to just tell it to go to 10.20.40. .1, and we're going to grab not shadow, and failed to resolve by HTTP. I don't think that's a problem. It's not / no. What is the problem here? 10.20.40.1. Unable to resolve host. So let's check my notes. Where did I go wrong there? Yep, did that. I'm gonna unshadow. I'm going to pause the video and figure out where I'm going wrong here. Give me a second. Okay, I think I figured it out. Like an idiot. Again, I was getting the slashies wrong. // and // There we go. Got the file. And unfortunately, I forgot to change this name properly. Oh, and I'm in the, where am I? Where's my local directory? I am in the root, so I just dumped not shadow in the root. So let's remove that. Remove not shadow, and let's go into my documents and go into project 2. Now actually what I'm going to do is make a directory for what are we going to call this? I guess shadow files, or make directory inside project 2. We'll just put it hashes. There we go, hashes. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll call it hashes. Make directory hashes. I'm going to cd into hashes. And then I'm going to now do that wget and download it. There we go. That's weird. Shadow. There we go. Got that. And now I also have to do password. There we go. So now if I do an ls, I have both those files. And if I do a cat, I can make sure they didn't get corrupted. Actually, let me take a look at password because I wish I gave it a better name. But there it is. Okay. It looks right to me. Alright, so let's clear that. And we are still in this machine, so I've done my damage. Although I should cover my tracks a little bit, shouldn't I? Just a wee bit. We'll remove not shadow. And oh, I'm in the root somehow. That was weird. I must have got reconnected. So I'm going to cd into, or I never went in there. That's what it was. So I can just do it that way. I'll do remove var www not shadow shadow x shadow, and I'm going to remove var www password. There you go. Now I've done that, I'm going to exit out. So we'll exit, and we'll exit out of our good friend Metasploit. Alright, good, done that. We've got our hashes, so I'm going to publish this video for part 1, and then we'll cover the other one. We'll cover John and combining these two files into one hash and then cracking that. Alright, so this is part 1. I'll see you in part 2.